Alter Bridge are back with their 7th album, Pawns and Kings, scheduled to be released worldwide on October the 14th via Napalm Records. Pawns and Kings comprises 11 all-new epic tracks that are sure to garner the band new fans around the globe, as well as keeping their extremely fervent supporters absolutely happy after waiting for new music from the band. Pawns and Kings found Alter Bridge reuniting with longtime collaborator and producer Michael Elvis Baskette. As I say, the album comes out on October the 14th. I caught up with Myles Kennedy over Zoom to chat about the album. How are you?
I'm great. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm all good. But we're here to talk about your new music, which, like, you must be super excited to be getting this album out at this time in your career, right?
Yeah, I'm glad that everything's looking good as far as the release, and there's so many stops and starts over the last few years, given the state of the world, but everything looks like a go.
So I'll keep hearing that this is a heavier album for Alter Bridge. Is that because of the times we're living in, or was that a deliberate thing, or did that just happen?
I think it just happened. I mean, I don't know if it was intentional. I think part of what I'm hearing that phrase used a lot. It's a heavier Alter Bridge record. I think part of it is just the way the production on it is a little more scaled down, which makes the ideas a little. It comes across. I think comes across a little rawer than some of our previous records, where there's a lot of layering, a lot of textures, which can sometimes, not all the time, can kind of detract from that overall heavy factor, right? So it was a conscious decision on our part, and also with our producer Elvis, that we were going to focus on being, I think, just a little more to the point with things. Not with every single song, but I think a majority of them, we tried to hold true to that idea. So the title track, which is the first one to come out, it's a very defiant track, and it has this line in it: "Though we're pawns, we could be kings." Tell me about that line. What does that line mean to you? Oh man, well, that's a tricky one, because I like it to. I don't want to go and be too direct with where I was coming from, because I always like to leave it up to listeners. I feel like that can ruin it. I've had that happen in the past with songs where I'm like, "Oh, I thought it was about this. Now you've just ruined the song for me." But I do think it's the idea that you can, though you feel like you're powerless in a situation, that you if you want, you can ultimately control your destiny. And I think that is something that I believe as a kind of a mantra for just the way I view life, that you can, and that can apply to a number of different scenarios, but it's definitely something that I think a lot of people can relate to. It's very, very much a part of being human. Have you always been like that? Even growing up, you were that kind of person? Yeah, that outlook? To a degree, but you're talking to the world's biggest. In fact, in the 6th grade, I got the Worry Ward Award from my 6th grade teacher. So, I mean, I was always somebody who I've dealt with certain, whether it's anxiety or whatever it is. And so when you have those monsters you're trying to deal with, believing that you can be the master of your destiny sometimes can be a little clouded and a little challenging. But at the end of the day, I always somehow managed to rip that veil away and hold on to that truth. And it's helped me. It's helped me a lot in life. And has that kind of viewpoint helped you over the last couple of years, where things kind of got a little bit out of our control? I think to a point, yeah. I mean, I think that's the beauty of that line. I feel like it can apply to more of an internal concept and be very empowering in that way. But I think people have also taken that line and looked at it more, in a world view, and how you view society. And that's been really interesting to get that perspective from people. But I could see how that, because the lyric is painted with an ambiguous enough approach. That's the beauty of it, is that you can extract these different meanings. So Pawns and Kings, the song, is the last track on the album of the same name. I feel like artists are usually quite deliberate about what they start an album with and what they end an album with. So why did you decide that was going to be the last song? I think, well, some of it, to be totally honest, was because we had enough like longer epic journeys on this record. We didn't want to put too many of them too close together. So some of it was just a matter of spreading it out enough. But it felt like a good way. There's something about that last section of that song. It's very, to me, it's a nice way to punctuate that record. There's just something very final about that. And it's like, okay, this is it. We've reached the arc of the body of work here. And now we're going to shut her down. So it just sometimes, be it from whether it's a lyrical concept or just the overall sonic tapestry seems to lend itself to being the final say on the record. And I think that song felt appropriate in both ththose realms.
And it is also a hopeful song in a lot of ways. So that's maybe leaving the album on a positive note.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I think that, and we always try to have a certain amount of that. I think a lot of artists do. I mean, that's hope is a good 4-letter word. And I think that, I always think about Song Remains the Same and Robert Plant's introducing Stairway to Heaven. I think he says something to the effect of, "This is a song of hope." And that really, I was just like, that's cool, because we as humans, hope is a very crucial commodity, right? We got to have it. And so as many of us who can peddle that 4-letter word, the better, hopefully, for all of us.
Yeah. So let's talk about Stay. This is a ballad on the album, but it's also Mark doing the vocals. Did you lose an arm wrestling contest or something?
No, actually, that was one of those. I heard the demo and Mark put that demo up and I was like, he sounds great. Have Mark sing it. It's the funny thing with both of us, because as the years have gone on, he's become more of an advocate of me playing more guitar solos, and I've become an advocate of him singing more. I think we both realized that because both of us can step into the other's realm comfortably, that why not use that as a strength for the band? Why have everybody in compartmentalize in their little, in their little box, I should say. I think it makes it more interesting for us. It keeps us, inspired. And it's just, I know that Mark loves singing. And so during the live set, when he has some songs to sing, it gives him something to look forward to. And for me, playing guitar solos is something I love to do. And so we're both very, I think, supportive of each other and always have been. And that started, 10 years ago on some of those records. We started switching roles and it just makes it fun.
Obviously for you, the record's been finished for a while and it comes out in October 14th. Are you a good person at knowing when it's finished? Are you good at being able to sign off on it?
Getting better, I'm trying not to overthink. That's one of the reasons why we continue to use Elvis, because we feel like he's a good gauge in that way. Oftentimes you get in the studio and when you're tracking a song, you can start hearing all these contrary motion with different parts and let's try this here and let's add this harmony here and let's go. You can end up kind of losing the plot in that sense. So it's good to have somebody there who's like, okay, no, this is done. This is ready to go. Let's move forward. That's, in my opinion, one of the most important qualities of a good producer, because artists are left to their own devices. There are some artists who are really great at self-producing, but not everybody can be Prince, and so it's good to have somebody on the team who can know when to say when.
And then you'll be going out on tour. The tour starts in November. Which of the songs on the album are you most looking forward to playing live?
I'm looking forward to playing Silver Tongue. I'm looking forward to hearing that riff live. I think that'll be fun. What else? Well, I'm looking for, hopefully we can play Stay so that I can take a break vocally and Mark can sing. That would be great. It's funny. I'll find myself looking at the set list while we're on tour. It's like, here comes the song Mark sings. So I'm always like, I can't wait. I need a break. But I'm also really super excited about going back out with Hailstorm. We have a long history with them, and it's been just amazing to see their evolution. I think Lizzie is one of the greats, and so it's just been really amazing to watch all of that unfold. I remember just seeing some sort of a video clip that somebody had sent us before they were even signed, maybe before they were signed. I don't know. And I remember just thinking, wow, this is going to be cool to see. So that's great. And this is the first time we get to go out with our friends in Mammoth. So there's a lot of history there. With Wolfie and with Frank and with Garrett, it's going to be, I have the feeling that run is going to, in the UK and Europe, is going to be like a 6 weeks of summer camp. Just because we're all friends. I can't wait.
And you play in big rooms now. Does that give you a freedom to try new things in a live environment?
Well, it gives us, when you're headlining the bigger rooms, you get to utilize more production. You know what? It's interesting. It's because it's kind of like what we were just talking about with when do you know when the record is done? And it's the same thing with production, where we've never been a band that's really overdone it in that realm, because we've never wanted to eclipse with the visuals what we're bringing to the party sonically. We want there to be a nice balance there. So finding that balance is always the challenge, with just the right amount of sheen and kind of visual stimulation to complement the songs. So that'll be fun.
Well, thank you very much for spending some time talking with me. I'm looking forward to getting the album in October, and very much looking forward to seeing you guys live again. It's been a few years since I saw you live, but always an amazing show, and probably better than ever now. So
thank you, Steve. Absolute pleasure talking with you.